Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of NEWS2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, Governor Kenneth Mapp called for a press conference on Wednesday where he announced his plans to retain the Virgin Islands' 3 Supreme Court justices. And with a law now stating that there must be 5 justices, we can expect the governor to name more nominees in the future. NEWS2's April Knight has more.
Governor Kenneth Mapp is renominating 3 justices of the Supreme Court. Justices Maria Cabret, Ive Arlington Swan, and Chief Justice Reese Hodge were all at Government House on Wednesday for the announcement.
All of you combined have over 100 years of service to the people of the Virgin Islands.
Maria Cabret, a Howard University graduate, was the 2nd woman to serve on the VI Territorial Court in 1987. Since then, she spent 2 decades on the bench. She thanked the justices who came before her, especially those who paved the way for female justices like herself.
I was the 2nd woman to be nominated as a judge, and as many women will tell you, it's not easy when you go into a field that has been dominated by men.
Justice Swan started practicing law in the VI way back in 1970, but he really wanted to be a teacher. He pointed to divine guidance for his long years of service across various courts in the VI.
How does one come from humble beginnings on St. Thomas, serve on 5 courts, and still could continue on?
Anguilla-born Chief Justice Reese Hodge started a VI law firm in 1979, but he was first sworn in as Superior Court Judge in 2000.
My colleagues and I made a conscious decision to aspire to exceed expectations and to always attempt to do better.
Governor Mapp said that next year he'll name 2 other justices needed to fill 2 more spots and submit the names to the 32nd Legislature. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The governor must wait 7 days before formally submitting his nominations to the Virgin Islands Legislature. Count on 2 to keep you updated. The senior leadership team of the Schneider Regional Medical Center provided the media with an update on the current status of the Charlotte-Kimmelman Cancer Institute services and the AC unit. There's the team right there. They were on hand to provide an update on the situation at CKCI and answer some questions. The hospital has been unable, as we reported, to provide cancer radiation treatments since October 21st after the air conditioning system failed. Work to get that unit up is still being addressed. A cancer conference was relocated from the Cancer Center to the Schneider Regional Medical Center, Cancer Support VI. Be sure to tune in on Thursday. We'll have more from that conference. Superior Court Judge Harold Willocks made a decision on Monday. He denied VI Taxi Association's request for a preliminary injunction against WICO and Best Taxi for alleged collusion and lack of qualifications. Willocks wrote that it is in the best interest of the public to allow WICO to exercise its business judgment in the matter of which company to award its concession. The VI Taxi Association is planning to appeal with the Supreme Court, according to its corporate counsel, Soraya Diaz-Cofel. Joseph Sibley Elementary School will resume its regular class schedules on Thursday, November 3rd, following an early dismissal today, Wednesday, November 2nd. Students were dismissed at 1 p.m. on Wednesday due to a power interruption that electricians identified as the result of a faulty generator switch at the school. Repairs have been made and power has been fully restored to the school. School buses started transporting students promptly at 1 p.m. to their regular drop-off stations. The St. Thomas St. John Superintendent's Office regrets the interruption of classes and looks forward to rectifying the situation speedily so that the students return to school campus again on Thursday. Well, this week the territory is hosting a top national official. The chief of the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, spent some of the last few days touring the Virgin Islands, getting a sense of what the information and technology landscape looks like. She spoke to News 2's April Knight and shared what she learned about challenges and opportunities unique to the Virgin Islands. Here's more.
FCC Commissioner Mignon Clyburn is visiting the Virgin Islands for the first time.
When we talk about the people, it is as beautiful as I ever imagined. This is my first visit to the islands, and it will not be my last.
Clyburn, who heads the National Regulatory Commission for Telecommunications, visited schools and met with communications companies. She said it's a problem when some 30% of Virgin Islanders do not have access to broadband.
When we talk about the opportunities that being connected, what they bring and what they mean and what the potential, what all of the potential is for all of that, to have more than 30% of island residents with no broadband, that is limiting, that is a problem, and that is why I'm here.
Clyburn also emphasized the need for residents to really get into the FCC's Lifeline program, which is increasingly becoming a need.
For those who economically qualify, it will allow for a monthly subsidy that will be used to offset the cost of service, cost of broadband service come December, but for a long time, the cost of voice service.
Commissioner Clyburn said the problem is not just about the infrastructure, but the poverty level.
Recognize that it's not just an infrastructure problem, but it's an affordability problem, because there are too many people on the island who have economic challenges that are preventing them to be digitally connected.
Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett's office helped bring Clyburn down to see the situation for herself.
This has been, I think, a fantastic opportunity for her to see and for us to hear about some of the opportunities that are available.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Election Day 2016 is officially 6 days away, and while millions of Americans have already cast their ballot, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are wasting none of the time they have left. Both the candidates and their surrogates are crisscrossing the country to make their final pitch to voters, especially those in battleground states. Steve Nannis has this report from Washington.
It's a race to the finish for presidential challengers Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
We are going to win back the White House.
We need to do everything we possibly can between now and the time the polls close.
And a fight for every vote.
We need more people to vote.
Show up early and vote.
Trump even telling early voters Tuesday in Wisconsin to go and change their vote if they voted for Clinton.
If you live here, or in Michigan, or Pennsylvania, or Minnesota, those 4 places, you can change your vote to Donald Trump.
The latest CNN poll of polls shows Clinton with a 5-point lead over Trump nationally, 47 to 42%. But the race has tightened in key battleground states, which could determine the winner. Clinton is up by only 2 points in Florida. Trump has a slightly larger 5-point lead in Arizona. Clinton has a 4-point advantage in Pennsylvania. Trump is up 6 points in Nevada. Those tight margins have the candidates and their surrogates hitting the battlegrounds hard in the final days. Trump and Vice President Biden are in Florida.
But we have 2 more today in Florida. Florida.
And Mike Pence is in Arizona.
6 days away from a great victory all across the state of Arizona and all across the United States of America.
That's where Clinton will also be campaigning late Wednesday night. In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis.
And keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers there, we can see everything down. The Dow 77 down, NASDAQ 48, S&P 500 down 13. Coming up on News 2, a breast cancer survivor story. As we come to the end of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, she shares her story of courage. That's coming up. Welcome back. WAPA has completed the commissioning of 2 of its 3 generating units on St. Croix, and the island is now completely powered by propane. And this marks the first time in the utility's 52-year history that a fuel source other than oil is being burned to generate electricity. Propane is both less expensive and cleaner burning fuel. At the Estate Richmond Power Plant, work is continuing on the commissioning of a third generating unit, Unit 17, which has been converted to burn 3 fuel types, propane, oil, and natural gas. Now on St. Thomas, the commissioning of 2 converted generators, Units 15 and 18, and the introduction of propane to the Randolph-Hawley Power Plant is continuing. St. Thomas, St. John, and Water Island are expected to be powered by propane in December. As we reported on St. Croix, D. Hamilton Jackson Day, or Bull and Bread Day, was celebrated with fanfare on Tuesday. Crucians showed up at the park named in Jackson's honor, where speeches and presentations depicted his life's work and his contributions to the Virgin Islands. Some community leaders spoke on what Liberty Day means to them.
We have what we call the Black Moses, an individual that was very instrumental in the history of the Virgin Islands, a fighter for the Union and his constituency. He really created a pathway for progress, having the first newspaper, having a local union leader.
D. Hamilton Jackson, he not only got freedom of the press, but he established a different pay schedule for the workers at the time.
Liberty gave us a chance to reflect on that, to connect as a people, to never forget where we were and where we come from, and most often where we need to be in the future.
D. Hamilton Jackson got us together as a community. Even though we had a government, the Union itself was a government.
Well, she is the mastectomy and medical compression garment fitter at the Appearance Center at the Charlotte Kimmelman Cancer Institute. She says when a breast cancer patient walks in, she empathizes and knows just the kind of service they need. Here is Donna Phillips' story.
I can guarantee you that when you leave here, you will not leave the same.
Donna Phillips loves her job.
And then we ask about their surgery and all the pertinent information. And then I would take them to the dressing area.
As a mastectomy fitter, her job is to assist women who have had their breasts removed due to cancer feel beautiful. But what most clients may not realize is that she too has been a cancer patient.
I was diagnosed 17 years ago, March 26, 1999. And I found a lump myself.
Not just one, but 3.
I felt one and then I felt another one.
Immediately after receiving the harsh news, she had to make a decision on what procedure she would choose.
My sister was sitting there with me, she said, so when can we have the surgery? And I looked at her like, excuse me? You know, are you serious? She said, he said, well, I have a space open in 2 days. So I was diagnosed on the 26th and I had the surgery on the 30th of March, right away. And it was like I was in a movie. So we didn't have the Charlotte Kimmelman Cancer Institute. I had to actually leave the island to have treatment. My family was here, my sister was here, and so it was like almost a fight for who gets the kids, who gets the children. And so that made me feel good in itself, because it gave me time to think about just healing. I didn't have to worry about my children because I knew they were in good hands. They hear the word cancer and immediately they feel like, I'm going to die. But I've been living with, cancer-free for 17 years. I wouldn't say that it was all a smooth road. I've had scares here and there, but I thank God that I'm alive to help other people and be of service to individuals who are going through this dreadful disease.
Well, be sure to tune in tomorrow. We will share more on the job of the mastectomy fitter. Governor Kenneth Mapp has proclaimed November as the Virgin Islands Recycles Month in conjunction with national efforts to promote reuse and repurposing efforts. The campaign was organized to promote greater awareness of environmental issues to include climate change and surrounding solid waste. Earlier this year, Governor Mapp sent 3 bills to the legislature designed to address litter and reduce the waste stream. Senators unanimously supported his bill to limit plastic bags, which will take effect next year. However, bills to establish a redemption value on every beverage container sold in the territory and to enforce recycling and the separation of trash, still awaiting consideration. Be sure to tune in this month as we also at TV2 recognize the efforts. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Well, it looks like over the next couple of days, the weather is really going to begin to die down. We have that area of low pressure as well as a stalled front. That's brought a lot of moisture as well as showers and thunderstorms over the Virgin Islands. But as this system slowly makes its way off to the south and the east, will begin to dry out. So Thursday and Friday looking quite nice. As we head in throughout tonight, can't rule out those showers or two as that low pressure system begins to drift offward out of our area. But as we head into tomorrow, we'll return to basically an easterly flow of some spotty trade wind showers. That's going to include St. Thomas as well. St. Croix, some showers could hang around just a touch longer from that low pressure system. As we head out into the Atlantic, not any advisories out on the waters currently, but we're seeing some heavier waves, 4 to 6 feet, as well as winds out of the east, 10 to 20 knots. That means that they could be gusting up just a touch higher, around 25. On the Caribbean side, though, we're looking slightly calmer out there. Waves 3 to 5 feet, winds out of the east 8 to 16 knots, so still tossing up just a little bit. All right, as we look forward towards your weekend, as I said, Thursday and Friday, just a stray shower or two throughout the day. But come Saturday and Sunday, there is another frontal system that's going to push into the Virgin Islands area, central Caribbean. That's going to be bringing some showers and thunderstorms. It picks up a lot of the moisture that's really been sitting over the region. And we'll continue to see that throughout Saturday and as well as into Monday. So a wet weekend ahead. Be prepared for it. Back to you, Sandy.
Thanks for that wet weekend ahead. Chillicum Cheney, however, shares a picture of some sunshine and a rainbow, which I saw over here in St. Thomas, Chillicum. Ricardo Richards Elementary School representing beautiful colors there. Thank you for that. Send us your news weather picture to the address on the screen, News 2 Innovative Business Center, 4611 Tutu Park Street 300, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands 00802. Be sure to stick around. News 2 Sports comes your way next.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Game 7, the two greatest words in sports. The 2016 World Series has come down to one game tonight in Cleveland as the Cubs and the Indians face off for all the marbles, thanks to a Cubbies victory last night in Game 6. Up 3-2, and with a chance to win the title last night, the Indians sent Josh Tomlin to the mound, and he got into trouble early. Top first, and Chris Bryant crushes a solo homer to left. Still in the first, Cubs on the corners, Addison Russell with the big fly to right center. It drops in, 2-run score, and it's 3-zip Cubbies. Top of the third, the bases are loaded, and Addison Russell launches the really big fly over the wall for the grand slam and a 7-0 Cubs lead. Russell becomes the second youngest player to hit a granny in the World Series. Bottom of the 7th, 7-2 Cubs, and the Indians have 2 on, and Cubs manager Joe Madden is not taking any chances. In comes Aroldis Chapman to get the final out of the inning. Upon review, he's out. Cubs win 9-2, setting up a historic Game 7 tonight. A tale of two cities who combined have not won a World Series in 182 years. The moment is not lost on the managers.
It's Game 7. You got two really, really good pitchers, and it'll be exciting. And like I said before tonight's game, I mean, it's an honor to even be a part of it, and we're going to give everything we have. And I can't imagine a better group of guys to go through something like this with. I'm looking forward to it already.
It's been a very well contested series. Both sides have played really good baseball. They have been outstanding pitching. They've been outstanding pitching all year. All of a sudden, our offense is having a resurgence, which we need. Again, of course, we want to be the group that breaks the string. But you're probably right. It's just correct and apt that we would go 7 games.
The Cubs' bats have come alive the last 2 games, and tonight they send Kyle Hendricks to the mound. The Indians counted with Corey Kluber, who won games 1 and 4 and will attempt to become the first pitcher since the Detroit Lions' Mickey Lolich in 1968 to win 3 World Series starts. Prediction? The Cubs' bats are back, but the Indians' dominant relief corps is rested and ready. The old adage is good pitching beats good hitting. I like the Indians and the Indian fans to be dancing in the streets. Chances are this will be the highest rated World Series game in the last 25 years with an estimated over 30 million viewers. Now, neither DirecTV or Dish will have the Fox US broadcast, so be sure to tune into Innovative Cable Channel 9 or Channel 409 for all the action. That's it for sports. Sandy, back to you.
Gary, thank you for that, and thank you for joining us for all the latest in news, weather, and sports. I'm Sandra Gumansingh. Have a wonderful evening.